Hello and welcome back to my 4 top 10 videos of 2021. And number 2 is my top 10 robots of 2021. So, this video only comprises of robots that were released in the year 2021. And this includes Transformers, Pacific Rim, and Gundam. There's no other robots in this list. If you're a fan of other robots, they are not here. I'm sorry, I am not a fan of them. These are just my favorite robots, because hey, it's my list. But yeah, these are only ones that were released in the year. To see the ones that I got in the year that weren't released this year that were like top tier for me, wait until my top 10 pickups of the year video, because about half of that list is robots. So we're getting there. We're doing it. And number 10 is the Mercurius Invade 8. Actually, I'm just showing the Mercurius here. This is a P Bandai HG from Gundam Wing, and I love these. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a kit that would probably make top 3 on this list. I wasn't able to get the real grade High New Gundam this year. I pre-ordered it on HLJ, and half a year went by and they never shipped it out, and I just never had a chance to get it. So, yay! Couldn't get that one, and I really wanted that one. But you know what? It's all good. Still got some awesome robots this year. So definitely worthy of being number 10. The Mercurius Invade are really cool. I did a video talking about those. Normally don't even talk about Gunpla. Oh my gosh, my desk is a little nasty. I had some fabric figures on here last time, so that's probably why. Next up, it's actually kind of split between this deco and the original one. But number 9 goes to Beast Wars Megatron from Kingdom, or this version, which I'm showing here for a specific reason, is the Jurassic Park crossover version. So the reason I decided to show this one instead, well, number 1, it would be kind of hard to get the Megatron off the shelf. But number 2, as soon as that Megatron came out, I was thinking to myself, they need to redeco this in classic Jurassic Park T-Rex colors. And they did exactly that, and they overpriced it, and I still bought it. And I love this thing. Robot mode, it's cool, but I think for this figure, it is going to stay in T-Rex mode for most of its life. The T-Rex mode and robot mode for this mold is amazing. It works so well for Beast Wars Megatron, and it works really well for just a T-Rex toy. It's great. I really love this thing, and definitely worthy of being on the list, even though there's about 8 figures that topped it. Next up, this one actually made it to, like, I think people's favorite Transformer of 2021, according to like some sort of poll. And it hadn't even really come out yet by the time that poll came out, which was funny. But he's still worthy of being on my list. Kingdom Tigatron. So let me tell you about Tigatron. He is my favorite Beast Wars Maximal from the first season. I love Tigatron. I love his colors. I love his character. I love tigers. I love Bengal tigers. I mean, I'm in Cincinnati. You kind of grow up with them your entire life if you're in Cincinnati. And Arctic tigers especially are awesome. And Tigatron is a Transformer, like pale, not really Arctic, but you know, it's an albino sort of tiger. And I love this. Yeah, this figure's awesome. I've wanted a Tigatron for years and years and years, and the original figure was way too hard to get. The Masterpiece was way too expensive, but this one, ooh, just right. Just right. And I love it, and I can't wait for the actual like Bengal tiger redeco of this, the mutant Tigatron. I love the colors. I love the head sculpt too. That is straight up Tigatron. I actually wasn't sure about this at first, but I actually really like the subtlety of like the different, almost like tan. Just add some different texture and color. Kind of gives it a bit of an homage to the original Beast Wars Tigatron that was almost like pre-yellowed. It already looked yellow right out of the box. But yeah, awesome figure. I love it. Definitely worthy being on the list. Next one I'm actually surprised is this low, but hear me out. I still love it, and I'm just showing his little, I guess, geez, what's the word? His little buddy, I guess. I was trying to, his liaison, I get, what am I trying to say here? I have no idea. His little representative, how about that? The Ark. I loved the Ark, but my only problem was it's very simple. It's very simple. It's very cool, but it's very simple. It's basically like a deluxe size figure blown up to a massive scale. It's a very simple toy, but I still love it. And I love that you get Teletrain 1 here, and he also has a robot mode. It's an awesome figure, and I really love it. But, man, other releases this year just kind of... One thing I really do when judging these is I think about the ones that really get me hyped up. Like when I get them, when I first get them, it's like, how hyped up am I for this? That's kind of a big factor in the placement on a lot of these figures. And while I really loved the Ark, I don't feel like I was super hyped up for it. When I got in, I opened it, I'm like, wow, this is cool. But I wasn't like, oh my gosh, finally! Or like, whoa, this thing's awesome. It was just like, yeah, this is pretty great. And it is. Basically, its biggest downfall was that it just wasn't cool enough, I guess. Next up, unfortunately, Gunpla doesn't even break the top 5. Would have if I would have gotten the High New Gundam, but unfortunately, it didn't. Because number 6 goes to the HG Death Scythe. So let me tell you about Death Scythe. I mean, I'm in America, so obviously we got a lot of Gundam Wing exposure in the early 2000s and late 90s. And that was kind of when I was being brought up. And I had a old no-grade 1144 model kit of Death Scythe growing up. And it was, his thigh isn't fully in. I just realized. Let me see if I can fix that while I'm talking. But yeah, I had that no grade of Death Scythe growing up. And I was like, man, this thing's super cool. But also it kind of sucks because it's a no grade and it was all breaking on me. It was incomplete. Whoop, he fell. Wasn't really the greatest thing ever. But this, let me tell you, this high grade is awesome. It is something else. Man, they just keep making high grades better and better. They really do. And this figure is no exception. Man, it's like his thigh doesn't even want to turn now. What's going on? That's kind of alarming. What's going on with him? Why doesn't your thigh want to turn after I push it in all the way? I never snapped it in. That was my problem. I've had this guy for how long now? And I never even snapped his leg in. That's funny. But anyways, awesome figure. Looks amazing. Definitely looks the part. It's the Death Scythe, man. What I gotta say? I guess I didn't love it enough to finish building it. But, dude. Gotta give it to the Death Scythe. He is amazing. I really hope we get Epyon and Shenlong in 2022. But at the rate of Gunpla coming out, it'll probably be about a few more years until we see even one of those. Next up, though, another Bandai figure. I was so shocked by Pacific Rim Atlas Destroyer. This is one I got out of the box and I was just so blown away with. I was like, whoa, this thing's crazy. It's really good. And yeah, man, it's so fun. I love the design of this Jaeger. I love the look of it. I haven't even seen the show he's from, but he is one of my favorite Jaegers, period. Definitely my favorite Robot Spirits Jaeger. I love this guy. The articulation, the posability, the sculpt, the dynamicism, it just makes it so great. And if you're a Pacific Rim fan, I would definitely pick this one up. Definitely. Don't overpay for it, though. I wouldn't go too crazy with paying for it. It's a, Pacific Rim Robot Spirits. It doesn't come with a ton. It doesn't have a lot of paint. It's really good, but it's not really great, if that makes any sense. But we're getting there. We're getting to some of the greats. Next up, I decided to show this version. Kingdom Galvatron. So, love this figure. Had a couple issues with both of the versions that came out. So with my normal version, I got one of the initial runs that had the flipped shoulders. And yes, I've had numerous opportunities to just buy a new one and just return my old one to the store. Because, I can do that. It's fine. Because I did get a defective product initially. But I don't really care enough. I don't really care enough to do that. But this one, the stickers for the head crest sucked so bad, I just painted it silver. Because why was it purple in the first place? Galvatron's never had a purple crest, either in the Marvel Comics or the original toy look. So I don't know why this, Generation Selects one had a purple crest. That's probably just how the molding worked. But still, awesome figure. This is the Galvatron I've waited for. Stay tuned. I'm going to do an old versus new between this guy and the actual vintage G1 Galvatron. But if you want to see this mold in more detail, check out my old versus new on Galvatron versus the Universe Deluxe. Because, oh man, it's kind of a slaughter. But awesome figure still. Really love it. Definitely worthy of being on the list. But top 3 time. Top 3. Number 2, I was kind of surprised that this figure was, I wouldn't really say a shelf warmer, but it was definitely very well stocked for a while. And they're all gone now, of course, because it's only Studio Series Hot Rod. This guy blew me away. If you want to talk about mini masterpiece, this guy is definitely a contender. So actually, Kingdom Cyclonus was one that probably would have been number 11 on this list. But unfortunately, I just feel like all of these others kind of beat it. And I feel like this list is already very Transformers heavy. So I kind of decided, nah, he's great, but even though he is kind of like a mini masterpiece, he's not going to be on this list. But Hot Rod blew me away even more than Cyclonus did. Hot Rod is one of my favorite Autobots, so having finally, after all these years, a very nice toy of him that's not an expensive, fragile masterpiece was very rewarding, and I'm so happy to have that. So, this next one is interesting. So it is a modified reissue of, basically it's my very first third-party Transformer. This is my very first, isn't my only, probably. I don't really like third-party too much. I usually avoid getting any. I just feel like that's a realm of Transformers collecting I can just live without. And for the most part, that's true. But I have wanted a nice toy of Age of Extinction Optimus for years and years, and Hasbro and Takara are never going to step up to the plate. So, I got the battle-damaged Unique Toys Challenger. And yes, Unique Toys Challenger itself is an older figure. It didn't come out in 2021. However, this battle-damaged version did. And this battle-damaged version gives you a way more premium paint job, as well as the nicer revised head sculpt, because the original head sculpt wasn't looking that great, and this one is way more faithful to the film. And look at it, man. Look at this. Not only is this figure as gorgeous as it is, but it also transforms somehow. Somehow this fucking thing, excuse my language, but this freaking thing transforms somehow. And both modes are amazing. I never reviewed this thing because I am kind of intimidated to, get handsy with a figure this intricate on camera. But I did take pictures for Instagram when I got it quite a while ago. And definitely, it's something, man. I'm shocked it's not number 1. But once you see number 1, you'll understand why I didn't make number 1. Because even though I love Optimus Prime, he's my favorite Autobot. You know my favorite Decepticon. You know my favorite Transformer. Let me get his lights on. My number 1 robot of the year, 3-0 Soundwave. I gotta raise the camera a little bit for this boy. So let me tell you, 3-0 Soundwave is something to behold. Absolutely something to behold. This is one of the nicest figures in my collection, hands down. The articulation is insane. The deco is insane. The detail is out of this world. I can't get enough of this figure. I'm thinking, should I get Optimus to go with him? But then I'm like, if I get Optimus, then it'll kind of make Soundwave less special. Because Soundwave being my one and only 3-0 Transformer just makes him that much cooler to me. And come on, it's freaking Soundwave, man. Look at this guy. His joints feel so durable. And he is just so amazing. He's got metal in him, which makes him so much heavier. He's got the lights for the eyes. As you can see, they go pretty bright. He is amazing. And definitely, when it comes to favorite figures of 2021, is he the best? Is he my top? I'm inclined at this very moment to say yes. I want to say that this Soundwave is my absolute favorite figure out of anything. 1/6 scale, Transformers, action figures, this is my tippy top figure of the year. And it's found here in episode 2 of my top 10s of 2021. So there we go, guys. I'm going to turn his lights off because I don't want to waste the battery. There we go. there is my top 10 robots, my top 10 figures of 2021. Awesome stuff, man. This year really delivered a lot of great stuff figure-wise. It definitely did. It's crazy to see all these awesome figures come to life. And I am very grateful that even though these past few years have definitely sucked in general, on like a world level, a personal level for almost all of us, somehow action figures are like tip top. And we are living in an action figure renaissance right now, even though the whole world and our personal lives may be burning and breaking our hearts. Action figures are going pretty good. So there we go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Special shout out to the patrons of Patreon. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for the continued support. And alrighty, there we go. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what your top 10 robots are in the comments below. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.